First of all, I would like to sincerely thank the organizers for inviting me to give this presentation and for creating this lovely space of knowledge, women, change. Through this Congress, you are helping to give visibility to pastoralism and to the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists. Thank you. Congratulations to all the speakers for your interesting work. I would also like to thank you, all of you, for being here and for your interest in this topic. And finally, I would like to apologize in advance for my English. It's not perfect. I appreciate your patience and understanding. In its 76th season, the United Nations General Assembly officially declared 2026 as the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists. This International Year represents an unique global opportunity to raise awareness about the ecological, social, cultural, and economic importance of rangelands and pastoralist communities. Between others, this year aims to highlight the critical role of rangelands and biodiversity conservation, climate regulation, and food security. Also recognize the contribution of pastoralists to sustainable land management and resilient food systems. Encourage the development and implementation of policies tailored to the needs to the pastoralist communities. When we speak about the need for adapted policies and stronger support, we could open a very long list of challenges affecting pastoralism. I would like to begin this talk by briefly highlighting some of the issues I have observed during the implementation of the project I will present today. These challenges affect extensive livestock farmers in the Iberian Peninsula, but many of them, I think, can be extrapolated to the wider of Mediterranean region. I think also to the at least in Europe. Among the main challenges are lack of generational renewal due to the physical and economic demands of the professions. This is a very, very big problem for them and for us. Excessively complex administrative and bureaucratic procedures. A structural vulnerability in comparison with intensive livestock systems. Political decisions focus in intensive livestock farming, leaving the specific particularities and needs of extensive farming overlooked. Difficulties in accessing grazing land, limited political representation and weak participation in decision-making processes, and the need to build new synergies and stronger alliances with institutions, associations, universities, and research centers that can give support to this collective. It is precisely at this last point, the need to build new synergies, that our project has tried to contribute, offering a small but we think meaningful step toward addressing some of these challenges. Next, I will present the main aspects of our project developed at Ipercerca and the Archaeological Institute at Tarragona in Spain. It was a project of citizen science and outreach focused on the pastoralism, which we developed between 2023 and 2024, 1 year. It was funded by the Spanish Ministry of Science. We will focus on the elements that we believe are most relevant to this session. Even if this is not a fully detailed explanation of the entire project, because we carry out many activities and it would take us a lot of time. Of course, if you have specific questions, I will be happy to address them at the end of the presentation or the session. The project was called La Memoria del Rebaño, that is in English, the memory of the herd, and was structured around two main pillars. First one, the integration of extensive sheep and goat herders into the scientific process. This is the main focus for us. And second, the second pillar was the public outreach and science communication related to pastoralism. From these two pillars, several core objectives were defined. To generate scientific knowledge that helps interpret available data on the origins and historical development of pastoralism, to document and compile knowledge associated with the profession of extensive sheep and goat herding, to highlight the cultural and heritage value of pastoralism, to empower present-day shepherds, especially women, and strengthen their visibility and recognition within society. With these objectives, we have enrolled in the project different agents: herders, scientists, archaeologists, seniors and young people, and of course, herders, women and men herders. The project emerged from a very specific scientific need. Many of you perhaps work on livestock analysis, and I think you will understand me. It's how challenging it can be to interpret the data we obtain. No, the main difficulty lies in the fact that we often lack detailed knowledge about herd management practices. We are not herders, but when we interpret the data, we have to put ourselves into their shoes and think with their mindset, and it's not easy. The decisions herders make regarding herd management are complex and highly variable. They depend on multiple factors: climate conditions, economic constraints, cultural traditions, local ecology, individual strategies, between others. Without understanding these variables, it becomes extremely difficult to interpret the material record accurately, at least in my opinion. When working with archaeological data, such as mortality profiles or taxonomic representation patterns, I often felt uncertain about how far my interpretations could go. I relied on ethnographical parallels, which certainly exist and are very valuable, but they are not always specifically designed to support archaeological interpretation. Many of the most influential ethnoarchaeological studies, which remain key references in our field, are based on pastoral systems in the Near East, while extremely important, this context do not necessarily reflect the ecological and socioeconomic realities of the Iberian Peninsula where I work. For this reason, together with the rest of the project team, we decided to undertake a systematic compilation of data on extensive sheep and goat management in the Iberian Peninsula. The goal was to create a reference framework that could help us interpret archaeological data in a more informed and context-sensitive way. Our ethnarchaeological study was based on a semi-structured interviews with extensive sheep and goat herders for the northeastern Iberian Peninsula. This region was selected because it is where our research center is located at Tarragona, and where a significant part of our ongoing projects are concentrated. Participants were recruited mainly through professional and social networks. As a result, a large proportion of the interviewees were between 35 and 50 years old. Some of them came from families with a long pastoralism tradition, while others had received formal training in shepherds schools that actually in the Iberian Peninsula there are a strong movement with this type of schools. All interviews were conducted directly at the farms, and this allowed me not only to carry out the interviews in context, but also to observe the production systems firsthand and better understand the practical realities of herd management. During the interviews, shepherds were asked about a range of issues directly related to the herd management. Among others, we discussed about lambing and killing season, the number of births per year, species composition and age structure of the herds, feeding strategies and seasonal dietary changes, mobility patterns, and of course, including transhumance or local movements. We also addressed broader aspects of daily pastoral life as they emerge naturally during the conversations. These contextual elements were often essential for understanding the management decisions reflected in the material record. These interviews led us to spend many hours with the shepherdess, and our conversations went far beyond the initial scope of the study. I would especially like to highlight some of the concerns raised by the women herders. All of them spoke about the lack of visibility and political representation of the pastoral profession, and particularly of women within it. This is especially striking considering their strong associative spirit and their active presence in social media platforms. They also emphasize the difficulty to achieving work-life balance in a profession that requires each day of the year. The constant demands of the herd management make family conciliation particularly challenging, especially, of course, for women. An example of this is that finally I have interviewed 20 herders, and I think between them only 6 were women because they have problems to make the interviews because the lack of time. These reflections remind us that pastoralism is not only an economic and ecological system, but also a deeply social and gendered reality. Beyond the interviews themselves, some of these encounters evolved into meaningful and lasting collaborations. An example of the synergies I speak earlier. No? As a result of this exchange, I was invited to participate in the podcast Contando Ovejas of the Ganaderas en Red, a network that brings together women livestock farmers and actively works to increase their visibility. I was also invited to contribute to the training initiative La Pleta here near Tarragona, a project dedicated to educating and supporting young herders. This program focuses on providing practical sorry. Here. As I mentioned earlier, the second pillar of this project was outreach and public engagement. As a part of this effort, we organized workshops and activities in museums, civic centers, and schools. What all these initiatives had in common was the aim to highlighting the importance of pastoralism and exploring its origins. In addition, we developed educational materials to support these activities. One of the main was a collaborative role-playing card game designed for children between the ages 8 and 12, more or less. The game invites participants to take on the role of the Neolithic shepherds, placing them in situations that reflect the daily challenges and decisions faced by pastoralism communities. Through gameplay, children can learn about the lives and difficulties of Neolithic herders, while also discovering how archaeology helps us to reconstruct and understand the way of life of these groups. For anyone who might be interested, this educational material is really available in the web evolución of our institution, of the IPES Cerca. At this stage, I'm not be able to present scientific results. I'm working with them. However, in terms of social impact, the project has already achieved several, in our opinion, important milestones. For example, it was served as a catalyst for documenting and preserving traditional knowledge linked to a profession that is currently at risk of disappearing. It has contributed to increasing the visibility of shepherds among diverse audiences, including young people, different age groups, and social context. And it has helped create spaces for dialogue between pastoral communities, researchers, and the broader public. To conclude, I would just like to emphasize that this project is not the end, is only a starting point. My goal is to continue to developing it through more ambitious and long-term initiatives. In particular, I hope to continue conducting interviews with herders from other regions of the Iberian Peninsula, and also with older herders who are often more difficult to reach, but whose knowledge, of course, and experiences are especially valuable. Another important objective is to design different forms of knowledge return and engagement, especially aimed at these herders. For example, exhibition of public talks with herders, integrating herders, and to build new synergies and collaborations that can help increase the visibility of pastoralism as a profession and as a heritage value. I would also like to develop some kind of experimental or ethnoarchaeological program to explore whether it might be possible to go a step further to and obtain gender-related insights into the practice of herding in prehistory. In particular, I am interested in investigating whether zoarchaeological analysis could provide this data. However, I think at this stage, it could be a challenging line of research. Thank you very much. I'm here for your questions. Thank you.